Hi everybody, it's Diana from The Wayward Cat and Wayward Cat Publishing, and I have another flip through of my latest journal. It's another journal in a box. I found another Fat Bottom Betty cigar box at the Goodwill, and somebody bought the other Fat Bottom Betty journal from my booth at the Antiques and Uniques, so I thought I would make another one since I found another box. I also found the Sweet Jane box, which I guess is another type of cigar, and that one sold in my booth also, so I think people like these. They're pretty cool looking boxes. So let's take the journal out, and it fits in the box fairly well, but it does take a little work to get all of the dangles and everything in the box if you wanted to close it. I just left these really long here because I like it. And I didn't know what to do with these exactly. I'm not very good at putting beads on the ends of strings, so I could try it and then undo it. But right now, I just left them like this. I have Sorry silk ribbon as a tie. There we go. I have one connected to the front cover and one connected to the back cover. And the cover is faux leather. I got that from a kit at an original sewing and quilting expo in Tampa some years ago. You were supposed to cover a notebook with it, but I never used it, so I thought I would use it for a journal. It's pretty neat. It's nice and flexible. All right, so on inside, I just made a lace pocket with some ephemera that you could write on. I left this as it was because it just looks so neat. I might go back in later before I sell it and add stuff, but I try not to overdo it too much because, you know, you can get to where you just don't stop. And I do like this kind of minimalist look. Here's just a piece of paper with a little bit of ephemera here. And this is a scene from a Charlie Chaplin film. I have an old movies book that I take a lot of stuff from. This is just a piece of tea-dyed paper and some lace there. And I ripped this page, make it look cool. Made a pocket there with some ripped edges, and it's an old ticket, excuse me, from Tim Holtz, I believe, and you can write on the back of that, and you can write on the back of that. This one's not very firm, so a little flimsy. Put a bit of ephemera on those. And this came from, I actually made, I made two of them, and they were going to open up, and I put them on the page, and it warped the page, and I didn't like that at all, so I just ripped them off and did something else with that page. But I went ahead and used this. This was the top one with the string, and put a little ephemera on it, put a little pocket behind it. I have the other side. I don't remember if I put it in here. We'll see if we find it. Otherwise, I can use it for another one. This is just some paper on top of it. Looks like a music page. This is the other side of the music page, which I left blank because it has this writing on it. I thought that was neat. And here's some of the movie book. Looks like pages on Cleopatra. And here's just a couple of pockets. I had this pink paper, so I made pockets to kind of match the pink paper. A little pocket on that pocket. I went to an estate sale, and somebody was selling a whole bunch of these cool, whatever you call them. And so I bought a bag full, stick them in my journals, and it's just a little bit of lace and a button. It's a flower with a little bit of lace. And this pocket, I think I put Mod Podge on it, and it was kind of sticky, so I covered it with some tissue. I think that's what happened there. I can't always remember. And this is, I went and bought a new shirt, and this was the tag that was on it. So I covered it with book page and made it look real junky. Put some pockets in there with a little bit of ephemera. Made a tag. And here's another pocket. I can't remember where I got this. It's either a bunch of magazines or something. I think it was a bunch of magazines. And on the edges of the pages, they had all of these old ads. So I cut out all the ads and made tags out of them. I think it was an embroidery magazine, if I recall, really old ones. Just put a little bit of stamp ephemera there. This is a piece of tea-dyed paper covering something up that I didn't like. And the same on that side. This is a covered paper clip, and this part is a pocket also on the paper clip. So I stuck a little bit of ephemera in there, and I covered that with a bit of mushroom ephemera. And there's another pocket with ephemera on it, and you may recognize that. You can get those, probably Tim Holtz. This is the other side of the covered paper clip. Put a little bit of ephemera there. And this opens up, I think this is the Turkish fold. You can find videos on how to make those all over YouTube. And it makes for writing space, but you can also hide things in there. I just put a bit of this shiny ribbon on this very short little page. And the more tea-dyed paper, probably covering up some words with more ephemera. Another old movie scene, and I put lace on this side, the little butterfly there. Plenty of space for writing. I love these old pages. And this was an old envelope, and I cut off the bottom of it, put some tabs in there. It's an old, probably a digital print photo that I printed out. Made it look nice and old. I can't get it back in. And it can go in there. And I did some stamping and a little bit more ephemera on that envelope. And this is the center of the journal. Now you see a little bit of thread right here. My pages get progressively shorter, and so I wanted to hold down this waxed thread. So I tied this on with that thread, and that's holding my danglies. All right, I wish I knew what movie that was from. It looks really fun. You could probably take a picture of it with that Lenso AI app, and it would probably tell you what that is, or with Google Lens. And that's the other side of that pocket. I did some stamping on that. And this is an old playing card, and I just left it the way it was because this is, well, pretty much what it looked like. I might have inked this edge, but all of this in here, that's the way it looked. So I thought, I'm not going to do anything more with that because it already looks really old. And this is just a piece of purchased ephemera that's in there. More tea-dyed paper for writing space. And this is the other side of what? Of this. And on here it says, it's the one serious thing in my life. So I didn't cover that up. I thought that was kind of cute. And a little flower with a button. These flowers come from Michael's, and they usually have little beads and other things in the middle, and sometimes it pokes out on the other end, and it could cause a mark in your book. So I just pull those out and stick a button or something else in there. And this opens up. This is covered with some paper, and there's your Jane Russell in The Outlaw. I covered up some writing there, I'm sure, but it adds writing space. Now I put this piece of lace here on this picture because these people are holding a machine gun, and I don't know, I didn't really like that too much, so I just covered it with some lace and made it a pocket. This is the kind of thing that's in those flowers that you purchase. This one, I guess, it's not too bad, and this is a pretty thick page, so I left that one in there. This is some neat tea-dyed paper that I covered up this cardstock with. And I just left these blank. A little bit of ephemera there. I covered up some writing here with some tea-dyed paper. And there's a scene from another old movie. I don't know which one. And I don't know what movie that is. It looks familiar. I'll try to look it up maybe. Here I just did some, I don't know, a little kind of a cluster with a feather. Wanted to cover the bottom of the feather. And here I used some of the fabric from the original Fat Bottom Betty journal. So kind of like a callback to that. And here's a little button. I got these fabulous buttons from my friend Amy. I traded her for some beads. I took way too many buttons. She got a few beads and I took a bag full of buttons. I feel terrible, but they're so adorable, aren't they? Love those buttons. And a little feather from my feather stash. This is fabric that you put on shades. I think they have these shades for your window and you can slide fabrics into it. And that's what that is. I cut it and stenciled on it. And you open that up, a little ephemera surprise there. And there's an old picture. I'm not sure where I got this one from. It feels like I printed it on photo paper though, so it could be a digital. Okay, and here's a pocket from a dictionary page. It looks like 1, 2, 3 pocket, tri-pocket. Put a little Tim Holtz person there. You can write on the back of that. That could be another digital that I printed or found somewhere. I'm just not sure. But you can write on the back of that. And there's a Tim Holtz or some other company. All right, more tea-dyed paper with some cool texture, but you can still write on it. I just made a tab here out of some old paper. Here's some more of that music page with someone has written on it. And this is some of that faux old tape. It was actually ripped, so I made use of that tape. I think Tim Holtz does that tape too. And here's a cluster I did. I got out my Sizzix machine. Actually, it's all right over there. I didn't have to get it out, but I had to dig out all of my embossing folders, and I did a bunch of embossing. I did a bunch on some of this thin paper, and it worked out okay. And the reason I did is because I think I just watched a video of somebody doing clusters using this kind of paper, but you can also use it for other projects. But yeah, so I ripped a piece and glued stuff all over it. And the person who did the video, she made larger ones though. So if I can find the video, which I should be able to in my history, because I just watched it, I'll link to it. And that's just got some lace and some cool yarn and a bit of fabric. Oh, there's a little bit of this cool green fabric too. And here is one of those cascading waterfalls of paper that you can write on. That's more writing space. Here's a little minimalist cluster with a bow. It's just got a bit of lace on top of this. Is some more embossing. And this is the other side of the scene from Charlie Chaplin. I could go back in and do something there. I don't want to overdo though. And here is just a kind of folded up piece of lace. I just folded it up, slapped some glue on it, and slapped it down. And here is a strip from the cover, the faux leather from the cover that I had extra when I cut it down. And here's another little cluster with some more of that red fabric as a callback to the other Fat Bottom Betty journal. A little bit of lace and some more of that embossed paper. And here's a double pocket. And there's a recipe for pig's knuckles. And on the other side, roast goose with sauerkraut stuffing. Neither of those sound very good to me, I'm afraid. But who knows? And this just looks like some purchased ephemera, but it looks really neat. So that's in there for writing on. And here's a junk mail envelope, you know, with the window that shows your address or whatever when you send it back. So I covered it with some book page and this picture. And this is from a related page to the picture, but I don't know if, I don't see Marilyn Monroe's name on it. That looks like it's from Some Like It Hot. And it is a pocket. And there's paper on the back so that when you pull out your picture, there's something interesting to see. And this is an old Valentine that I got in a bunch of ephemera. It might be the ephemera that I purchased from the guy on Facebook Marketplace. And it has writing on it. It's really neat. It's already kind of ripped up and old looking. And I put it in this way so the little face shows. And that is the end. This is just a one signature journal so that it fits in the little cigar box. And so far I like it. I might do a few more things to it, but I felt like I needed to go ahead and do a video on it. I hope you like it. I hope you got inspired, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.